will get moved to a room today. It's not the end of the story. God's grace is sufficient. God's grace is sufficient to get you to do whatever God's called you to do. God's grace is sufficient for me, as God's grace is sufficient for you. But it says, and my strength, though, is made perfect in weakness. That's what you got to understand. When we're weak, God is strong. Therefore, most gladly, I would rather boast in my infirmities than the power of Christ may rest upon me. And then 2 Corinthians 12:10 says this, therefore, I take pleasure in my infirmities. I like that, in my reproaches. I put, it's all right. I know I get up here sometimes and I stutter. I even know that I have dyslexia, and sometimes when I quote the verse, for when I am weak, then I am strong. God will use your weakness for his strength, where he gets the honor and the glory. And, I wouldn't trade my God-given passion when it is practiced for anything the world has to offer. There's nothing more fulfilling than that. See, you might have done something in your past, and you're allowing it to rob your wonderful future. You might be saying, well, Brother James, you just cannot imagine I did blank. Yes, I can. I can. We're going to use Peter for an example, and I'm going to paraphrase part of it because of time. But Peter, Peter cussed Jesus. Peter denied Jesus. He did unbelievable things. He went back to his old job. He got discouraged once Jesus got crucified. Even though Jesus appeared to him, Peter, he'd seen the blind to see and the sick healed, demons cast out, miracles. Peter got to walk on water, and now Jesus is dead. And what does Peter do? Peter said, I'm going to go back and go fishing. Others, his disciples, were together, and what happened? And Simon Peter said to them, I'm going fishing. Where are you going, Peter? Fishing. The death, the burial, and resurrection, Jesus already appeared to you. Where are you going? Fishing. And then they said, well, we're going to go with you also. Peter was a leader where sometimes he led them to do good, sometimes he led them to do bad. So they went out and immediately got into the boat, and that night they caught what? Nothing. See, when you're out doing what you think you should be doing and it's not what you should be doing, that's the way you're going to feel. You're going to feel like nothing. You're going to feel like I'm working, but it's just for nothing. You feel like, hey, I'm married, but it's just nothing. And nothing goes right because Peter was doing something that he shouldn't be doing that doesn't seem like it was that bad. See, you might not be stealing, you might not be robbing, you might not be committing adultery, but you're just not doing what God called you to do, and you're unfulfilled, and it's just nothing. Peter went back to his old lifestyle.